I know I had not planned to go live today, but before we head out and take care of some things we have to do today, I thought I would get on here and share a quick video. This is something that I've been thinking about. It's a conversation that comes up all the time in our business. And so I just wanted to give my personal 2 cents on, is door-to-door selling a dying way of doing business in insurance sales, or is telemarketing the way to go? Let me just make sure you can hear me well over here on YouTube, and then we'll get started. Okay, hold on one second. Give my personal okay. Sorry about that. Okay, so we're live and you can hear me well. So door-to-door selling versus telemarketing sales, especially for those of you that are new insurance agents. You may be wondering, or you may be terrified, like, I don't want to go knock on anybody's door. And you may have heard me say this before. If you follow me or if you subscribe to my channel, you may have heard me say that I can't fight. I'm not going knocking on anybody's door. It's just not happening, right? For me to get snatched up in somebody's house. That's the way my mind thinks. That doesn't necessarily mean that's the truth or that that's going to happen. That's just where my mind goes, right? And so for years, many people have had great success going door to door, doing door-to-door selling, and it works for them, right? And so I'm not saying that that's something that doesn't work if you do it, because all things work if you do it, right? If you're consistent and you do it enough, it's going to work. But what I will share with you is the trend that I've seen since COVID is that people are doing more telesales, right? Because for 2 or 3 years, we were shut down, couldn't go face to face, couldn't be in people's homes. If you were doing sales, matter of fact, I came into insurance during COVID. So that's why I came into insurance doing telemarketing. And so with some companies that I was talking to, people were actually going to the house, sitting outside on lawn chairs, talking to people. Now, if that's what they wanted to do and that worked for them, that's great. But that was not something I was going to do. And I'm not an outdoor person. So you really have to think of the elements. That's one thing that you're going to encounter if you're going to do door-to-door sales. The other thing is you have to be prepared for a lot of rejection across the board in insurance if you're going to do door-to-door sales. Now, you are working mailers. So when you're working mailers on door-to-door, people have actually taken the time to fill the card out, sent the card back to the company. Now you're going out with a stack of cards and you're driving hither, there, to and fro. So the one thing that you have to think about is that's a lot of wear and tear on your automobile. That's a lot of wear and tear on your car. That's a lot of wear and tear of being in the field. And the way a lot of people used to work it back in the day, and I know some people that work with Lincoln Heritage that still do it this way, they'll go out of town on a Monday and they'll stay gone all week, just so they can go work a different region or a different area where there's opportunity, where maybe there's no one up there working, and they have some success, right? But they also have the expense of the gas, they have the expense of the hotel, they have the time away from their families, all in hopes of making some sales. And there can be times in insurance when you go door to door, and what they call bell to bell, right? Sun up to sundown, where you might not make any sales, right? So would you rather, and the thought process is of the new insurance agent. When I say new insurance agent, it's people that are newly licensed and have been licensed, let's say under 3 years. And I'm not speaking for everybody. So let me speak for the people on my team and for myself, right? We want to work from home. We want to work from the comforts of home. Now, a lot of people that are field agents will say, when I say field agents, that's the person going door to door, riding out in neighborhoods. They bought the stack of mailers, they're heading out and they're riding to town, right? They see telemarketing sometimes as a lazy approach to doing business. I disagree, right? Because you're going to be able to maximize your hours. You're going to be able to maximize your time. You can immediately hop from the bed to coffee to the phone, right? You can either dial yourself, you can put a dialer in the system and use a dialer to make your calls, or you can hire a team. You can hire someone to make your calls for you, an appointment setter. I wouldn't hire an appointment setter if they weren't good, didn't have experience and a track record of success, just FYI. And so I personally believe that door-to-door sales is a dying occupation. That's Garlinda's opinion. And that's not rooted in any type of facts. That's just rooted in what I've seen. And what I will share with you here at Senior Life, that's the company that I write for. Matter of fact, who am I? I'm Garlinda Price, and I'm an agency owner and a national sales director with Fusion Insurance Group. I own my own agency, and I'm powered by Senior Life Insurance Company. So I specialize in final expense burial insurance, and I specialize in telesales. I don't go door to door. I've never gone door to door, right? But I was trained to go door to door, and I have been trained to go with other agents. I've sat in the home with them. I've sat with them while they've done presentations. I've seen the people's response. I've seen them have sales, and I've seen them not have sales. But I've also ridden in the car with them where they left home at, let's just call it 7 o'clock in the morning, and got to the first house at around 9:30, and then didn't leave to go home until around 6 or 7, getting home about 8 o'clock, maybe 8 or 9, right? That's a long day to reach only a couple of people. And when we were riding, we rode all the way from Fayetteville to Sanford to Rockingham, North Carolina, to Sanford, North Carolina, down to Hamlet, North Carolina, and then back to Rockingham, back to Fayetteville. And that particular agent drove back to the Triangle area, right? So that's a really long day, but that's how that person loves to do business. They love that way of doing business. But I was like, okay, that's not for me. I would rather maximize my time with the leads that I'm able to invest in. And I think leads matter. I need to write myself a note so I can say that to you, right? The type of leads matter, right? So when you're in the field, you're normally dealing with, depending on the company that you work for, you're dealing with mailers, right? So I just personally feel like door-to-door sales for insurance is a bit of an antiquated way to build and grow an insurance business. And why do I say that? Let's just look at online trends, right? You can get health insurance, I believe, from Amazon. Marvin, can't you get health insurance from Amazon? Yeah. Yeah. So you can get health insurance now from Amazon, right? Yeah. In addition to health insurance that you can get on Amazon, you have Ethos, right? So Ethos is a company that's doing online business. Then you have, I can't think of the name of the company. So many companies, though, that they just do business specifically online, and people want convenience. We see people all day long just like this. They're just on their phone. They're scrolling, 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 looking, typing, texting, and talking. And that's what they're doing. And so most of the time when you get junk mail, what are you doing? And that's where the mailers come, right? The mailer is nothing more than a little postcard. You get it in the mail. Some people fill it out, send it back. And then when you call them, they're like, I never filled that out. Literally, it's in their handwriting, right? So newspapers now, let's just talk about physical things that come in the mail. All junk mail, I throw in the trash. All of it, right? So you're talking about maybe 1 to 2% of mail that is actually opened, paid attention to, and someone's doing something with it, right? So because of that, that's going to be a bit of an issue if your focus is only on door-to-door selling, because you're going to be limited to that small percentage of people that are not even opening the mail and they're throwing it in the trash, and you're hoping to go knock on their door and do business, right? And then you have to think of, when you're doing door-to-door sales, who is the client? Who is your target? Who is your niche? Who is your market? Who are you marketing to, right? And so that's something else that you want to think about. So I just personally feel like door-to-door selling is an antiquated way of growing a successful, thriving, sustainable insurance business. And especially if you're going to be hiring young people, right? So because the average insurance agent in the past has been around 57 years old, what we're starting to see is people are coming into the insurance industry that are younger and younger. On our team, we have a couple of leaders that are 20, one is 26, I believe. No, yeah, 26. Came into the industry when he was 18 years old. He was still in high school. Another one is in his 30s. I want to say he's either 31 or 33. Came into the industry when he was in his 20s. And so the industry is starting to age backwards. So therefore, you're going to find millennials and Generation I think Z, don't make me misquote, right? But you're gonna find people that are younger that are not interested in door to door. Why? Because they're part of the gig economy. They're a part of a technological economy. And so they know that they can use their phone to order food. We can use our phone to order something that we need tomorrow to fix the car with. You know that you can go on here and order a book if you need it, and or read the book on here if you need it. And so technology is taking the place of door-to-door selling, but insurance is not going to be taken over, my personal opinion, by robots, because insurance sales and insurance purchasing is an emotional decision, right? It's a transfer of emotions. You'll hear that a lot if you're in insurance. And so I just feel like if you or someone you know is still working on building their business from a door-to-door perspective or a driving around all hither, there, to and fro perspective, they may get left behind in the industry and or slow their growth a little bit because they're with a company and or they're following a system that's dated. That's just Garland's opinion based on what I see, right? Based on my experience here as an active life insurance agent and agency owner. And people that are coming into our business are talking to us about what's been their experience, what they've run up against, what they've encountered, right? Another thing that I noticed with whether or not door-to-door sales or online sales is a better approach. Here at Senior Life, we take live transfers, right? We have 6 or 7, not 5. We have 6 or 7 different lead types. Let me name them so that way I can go through them, right? But we have a live television transfer. That's where someone calls in from a television commercial. They're sitting here looking at The Young and the Restless, Days of Our Lives, The Price is Right, whatever their favorite show is, and they call in, or they're looking at their favorite show at night, right? Their favorite murder mystery or their favorite Real Housewives of whatever, right? And they happen to see an 800 number and they give us a call. They call into our telemarketing center. And when they call into our telemarketing center, we have a system called Leads the Way. The lead pops up, says live transfer available. You click it, and if you're fast enough to get it, the telemarketing center connects you with the client. Let's call it John Doe. Garlinda, hey, I got John Doe calling from Thomasville, Georgia. John, this is Garlinda. You guys have a great day. She's a licensed agent in your state. She's going to be able to help you. The call transfers over, and now it's John and I. John, okay, what has you calling in today? You know, are you without coverage? Are you going to add to your coverage, or did you need help planning a funeral? And we go straight into our script, right? So imagine that I can be doing that all night, right? If I choose to, like the system is sending across live transfers all evening. So if it's, let's say, 6 o'clock on the West Coast, it's 9 o'clock on the East Coast, I still have 3 good hours, 2 to 3 good hours. I can genuinely work my business on the East Coast over on the West Coast, right? So let's say you work a full-time job, but you're like, you know what? I can call Arizona, Hawaii, Nevada, Arizona, Hawaii, Nevada, California. What else is down there on the West Coast? Anything that's 3 hours behind you, anything that's 2 hours behind you, right? Is that mountain time, I believe, depending on where you are. So it gives you a chance to maximize your time if you're a telesales agent versus a field agent, because you're not going to drive from North Carolina to California to go sell insurance. Now, you could fly there and do that if you want to, but then you're still limited by the amount of time that you can work it, because you only have a certain window of hours that you can work during the day. Whereas if you're at home and you're on the computer and you're doing telesales, you can work as much or as little as you want. That's the way that it's going. So then we have a television lead. Then we have a Facebook call lead. So over on Facebook, I actually was sitting there one day and I saw a Senior Life ad pop up. And I was like, oh, look, a Senior Life ad over here on Facebook. So I sat and listened to it. And then she talked about our products. There was an 800 number at the bottom. And I'm like, oh, this is the number that people call in. So people click on it and they call from Facebook. So then same thing. If I'm fast enough to get the lead, I click on it, I get it. And all of a sudden, Garlinda, hey, I have John Doe on the phone. His date of birth is 12/9/1959. John, I have Garlinda, the licensed agent in your state. You two have a great evening. John and I are together again from Facebook. Then we have a social media lead, right? So Senior Life, when I tell you they're very cutting edge, like our president and our CEO is a visionary because he was a licensed agent. He was the number one final expense agent in the country when he was selling insurance. And so he can see afar off of where things are going. And because of that, he keeps the company ahead of the curve as it relates to technology. Because I'm telling you, if you're still dealing with paper applications, if you're still going door to door, if you're still having to put a map and a route together to drive to get to your clients, I'm not saying that you can't sprinkle that into what you're doing, but you're going to get left behind in the insurance business. That's Garlinda's opinion. And I've been a business owner for 35 years, just to tell you about myself. So I've been an entrepreneur, literally self-employed, a business owner for 35 years. I've owned 2 salons. I did hair for 14 years. I owned multiple salons for 8 years. Those 2 salons. I've been a licensed real estate broker and owner of a firm for 16 years with agents, right? And so now I'm a licensed life insurance agency owner this is my 4th year. In addition to that, before I did any of that, I was a jewelry designer, and I always thought I'd be a jewelry designer. I thought that's what I would do for a full-time career. And my sweet husband, shout out to my lamb chop, Pastor Marvin Price Jr., he said, Garlinda, that's a hobby. I clutched my pearls. But he was so right. The Lord had called me into real estate, and here we are. And so thank God that he saw that in me before I saw it in myself, because ain't no telling I'd still be gluing earrings together for a living. And that's not what God called me to do. Nothing wrong with it, but that's not what God called me to do. Right. And so I speak from a place of, I know industry, I know business, I know trends. I know how to succeed. I know what failure looks like. I know what loss looks like. I know what abundance looks like in business. And so I can sense and see trends. And what I'm sharing with you is that the trend is towards telesales. The trend is towards calling people in the comfort of their home while you're in the comfort of your home doing business. Now, social media leads, that's what also is a lead that Senior Life has, and that's where they're marketed on the different social media platforms, and people call in from there and or submit business. We have mailers. That's where a mailer goes out, it comes back in, that goes into the system. We can purchase mailers. We have online quote requests. That means that someone has gone onto the Senior Life website and they've requested a quote of information. They put in their date of birth, they put in their medications, they put in how much insurance they're looking for. They also put in who they want to be their beneficiary. They put in their date of birth. They're giving us all the information that they need, that we need in order to put together a quote and present to them what they're looking for. We're in 40 different states. We're not in every state, but we don't need to be, right? We're in 40 different states, which means there's also no territories. A lot of times when you're working these door-to-door insurance companies, you have territories where you're limited, right? So you can only sell in 4 states, 5 states, 7 states. We got a whole country, right? Now it's up to you what you want to do, but I don't like limitations. If there's a whole buffet, I want to have access to the buffet. Let me decide where I'm going to eat, right? I don't want that decided for me. So then the other type of lead that we have, so we did lead live TV transfers, Facebook, social media, online quote requests, mailers, and then we have telemarketing leads. We actually have a physical outbound telemarketing call center at Senior Life. They make outbound calls and then they put those leads into the system. And then we have one more lead type. We have a yellow page lead type. I've not had a chance to get any of those, but we also have a yellow page lead type. And so it's just so much to choose from the comforts of your home. You can say, girl, I'm rolling straight out of bed, brushing my teeth, doing my hair, slapping on my makeup if you want to, right? Because you're not on a Zoom. But guess what? You could be on a Zoom. What if you say, well, you know what? I'm a field guy. I'm a field girl, and I like the personal touch. What's stopping you from doing the telemarketing sales? And if the person says, well, can you come to my home? And they happen to be in your local area, you can schedule your appointment from home and then go over there, and you're popping up as a warm market instead of a cold market. Right. But so the question is door-to-door selling a dying way of doing business in insurance sales? I personally feel like it's antiquated, and I believe that it's going to be excelled or exceeded by telemarketing sales. I also believe that one thing that Senior Life just came up with, and that it literally rolls out this Monday, we are so excited, is our free lead program, right? And it's been about 4 weeks in the making, and it's been a process to get to. And right, so now we have a free lead program. And sometimes people ask me questions, and I want to say this with all due respect, because I don't mean it in a rude way. Let me say it this way, because I don't want to say anything rude. Free is of no value to someone whose mind is not prepared for it. And what I mean by that, a lot of times when someone sees something as free, they're like, oh, it must not be good. If that's your mindset, then it's not going to be good for you. It's going to be good for everybody else because it's already been tried and tested. It's been a year in the works for one company. It's been 4 months in the works for another company, and these people are making paper. So it won't work for you if that's your mindset. But for the person that says, you know what, no lead costs, no expense, if it's free, I'll take 3. I got that from a girlfriend of mine. That's not my original statement, right? If it's free, I'll take 3. That's the mindset of abundance. The mindset of lack and scarcity says, oh, free, must be something wrong with it. Now they're giving out free leads. This isn't for you, right? But for the person that says, you know what, they have maxed out their credit cards in insurance leads. They have called all kinds of leads that have been recycled, resold, reversed, re-engineered, right? Like a GMO product. And you've had that experience. This opportunity for free leads is for you. There's no lead costs. Now, if you're a manager in a business, and if you're a business owner, let's talk about how that works for you and your team, and what it looks like for you in terms of how you need to build it, structure it, and grow it. And yes, it's a lower comp, right? So when people say, well, I know it's not at a high comp. No, it's not at a high comp. Why would it be? You have no lead costs. It's a business, right? And so if you want to know what the comp is, you call me. Let's have an interview, and let's see if I'm a good fit for you, and let's see if you're a good fit for me, and let's see if you're a good fit for our free lead program, because everybody can't get on it. Why? Because you have to have structure. I'm gonna tell you the things that it requires for our free lead team. Now, everybody else might be different. There's different teams at every organization. I will tell you, for Garlinda's team and the team that am on, Agent Force Alliance, Da Silva Financial Group, and Fusion Insurance Group, my own agency, you have to be able to work full-time hours, right? You have to be willing to work a schedule in order to be a part of the free lead program. You have to be willing to be on our virtual call center with your camera on, accessible to us to be able to hear your call, see you while you're dialing, so that we can intervene, we can help, we can make sure that everything is going according to the way it's supposed to. In addition to the free leads, you're going to get access to free outbound calls and free inbound calls with no lead budget, right? In addition to that, you have to be willing to role play and to have one-on-one meetings so that we can help coach you, not to treat you poorly or to dog anybody out, to say, hey, say this instead, use this tone instead. Next time, do this, because if you're not successful, we're not successful. Right? So we hire people to help. We hire people to coach. We hire people that want to make money, because guess what? If you get paid, we get paid. If you don't get paid, we don't get paid. So it's our job to help you and to coach you. So full-time hours, you can't be a broker. Full-time hours, camera on, able to unmute, licensed in multiple states. If you're only licensed in one state, it's fine, but you'll want to get multiple states in order to see the greater opportunity for success, because calls come in from across the country, and every day it's a different state. Like, you never know. Some days I get Indiana, some days Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Nevada, Arizona, California. The calls come from everywhere because Senior Life owns its lead business. They own their own lead companies. So therefore, they have 3 different companies that provide them with television leads. These are not recycled leads. These are not aged leads. Can you invest in aged leads? Yes. Can you get aged leads, older leads? Yes. Can you get newer leads? Yes. Is there a mix of everything in between? Yes. There's no good lead. There's only good agents. So if you call me and say, Garlinda, is it a good lead? That's a red flag for me, because there's no bad lead. There's one lady we closed today. We had called her 12 times. Now, I bought that lead back in November or December, 12 calls, had already been on the phone with her once. We closed her today. The fortune is in the follow-up. You will not get your sale Sometimes with people, the first time you call them, the fifth time you call them, the 10th time you call them, the 12th time you call them. Some people won't close for a year, right? So you keep the lead. But if it's free and you'll take 3, who cares? Keep calling, keep dialing. So let's go back. Full time, must be willing to be on the camera, have your calls listened to, coach, one-on-one training. No brokers. We're not hiring any brokers. So if you have open contracts with other carriers, before we'll place you on our free lead team, you'll have to terminate the carrier contracts. Not even up for discussion, no exceptions to the rule. I was a broker. I was a broker up until August. Gave up my carrier contracts, hadn't looked back, hadn't even thought about it. Well, let me not say I hadn't thought about it. A lady called me that was 86 years old, and we only go from 0 to 85. And I was like, man, I'm not able to help this lady. But guess what? I could refer the business to a friend of mine that can. Shout out to Monica Henderson, an awesome woman of God, help my client, right? And so I don't need to have a broker contract. I can refer it out and still participate in getting a percentage or get paid some portion of the business because I referred it to someone else who's licensed. We got to think growth mindset, right? A growth mindset says, okay, if I'm not able to have that contract, but I can still get paid because I have a license to print money, who do I know that could write the business for them, for my clients, serve them at a high level, and I get paid a percentage while I'm over here still doing something else? They're helping the client. They get paid. I get paid. Everybody's happy. You got to have an abundant mindset in this business. Okay. So we do not hire brokers on our team for our free lead program. It is at a lower comp, but with that lower comp, you stand to make $184,000 a year. We'll do the numbers when you call me. I'm not going to do the numbers online, right? Because everybody's not coming in at the same comp either, right? It's going to be based on experience, based on your track record of success. Everyone is different. This is a business, right? We're going to coach you and teach you on how to grow a business. What's the other thing that you have to do? We have to track your business, right? Because there's quotas to be met at the end of every single week. Right? So is door-to-door selling a dying way of doing business in insurance sales? In my personal opinion, it is. I believe that a lot of companies are going to a free lead program. They're going to a program where they, because they know that a lot of agents do not come into the industry with money. Mir, Martha, let Miriam know I'm ready when she is. A lot of agents come into insurance, they don't have a lot of money, they haven't saved up a lot of money, and or they have maxed out their credit cards with bad debt for leads at another company that didn't have a good lead program. And therefore now they're coming into over here with Senior Life and they're like, you know what? They don't have any money. And so the Senior Life president, Ron Powell, shout out to him, visionary, says, you know what? That's a great idea. Why don't we create a system where people can get rid of the barrier to entry, the barrier to entry being the money, the barrier to entry being the money for leads, the barrier to entry being financing leads if they're not able to finance them, right? And so let's eliminate that. And so now there's no excuses. Now what is it? Now it's depend on and predicated on you. How good are you on the phone? You could become better on the phone. Every client is a chance and an opportunity to get better, right? That's what it is. And so if that's you, if you've been building your business or you're still building your business in an antiquated way, or you have not seen the success that you desire to see in your life insurance selling business, I want you to give me a call. My number is 910-494-7798, and let's have a conversation. Okay. I'm going to put my number down in the chat. But just know I'm going to interview you just like you're going to interview me. And the reason why we won't bring everybody onto our free lead team is because that means that if you decide to leave, we got to take on your debt as a leader. And we're not going to do that, right? We're going to train you. We're going to help you be successful. We're going to help you grow, but we're going to make sure you're a good fit, that you're going to stick, you're going to stay. Why? Because this company is growing places. We just launched a pharmacy. So what does that mean? Our clients in some states, I'm sorry, I'm going to leave it out. Our clients in some states like Virginia, I've seen the pharmacy pop up. I believe I've seen the pharmacy pop up in Georgia. And so what will happen is when we're in the process of doing the application, we get to the end, it'll show a paragraph and it'll say, at the Senior Life Pharmacy is available in your client's area. Ask them if they would like to have a pharmacist reach out to them. And so Senior Life will have a pharmacist reach out to the client, and that client can then have all of their medication shipped to them at no cost, right? The medicine's not free, the delivery is free. No free delivery service of their medication. Their medication will be individually packed for all 7 days. It'll have their dosages that they need to take. So therefore, seniors, who is our target, they don't forget their medicines. They don't drop them out of the case. They don't forget to take them because they're singularly packaged for convenience. And there's a bonus program based on production for everyone that enrolls their clients in the Senior Life Pharmacy. Come on. So in addition to the money that you can make from your personal sales, in addition to the money that you can make if you build and grow a team and you're going to get overrides, in addition to the money that you can make by referring people to the Senior Life Pharmacy and you hit the production numbers, now you're going to get a bonus based on the number of people that you enroll. Come on, make it make sense to not be a part of this company. I get it. I understand online you see a lot of negative banter. What does that have to do with you? I'm just asking. It has nothing to do with me. I don't know those people. They don't know me. They don't know my family. I don't know their family. I wish everybody great success because guess what? No matter what happens for someone else has nothing to do with you. Whatever happens with you has nothing to do with them. Your success is predicated on what you do. Your success is predicated on how many people you call and help. Your success is predicated on how many business partners, if you're building a team, that you come in and help be successful. But don't get caught up in the noise, the nonsense of the industry and let it get you off track and help you get away from your green grass. This man gave a great, excellent training yesterday. It was so good. It was gooder than good. And he said there's 2 words you need to focus on to be successful in selling insurance: self-discipline. That's what it all boils down to, self-discipline. And so I'm going to end on that. So again, the title is door-to-door selling a dying way of doing business in insurance sales? I personally believe that it is. I believe it is an antiquated way of doing business. I also believe that Garlinda's opinion, now we can agree to disagree. It's not an argument or a fight because everything's not for everybody. Just my opinion, right? But also what I feel is antiquated is only one lead system. If all I have is mailers and that's the only thing that I have to wait for the company that does the mailers to send them out. I have to wait for the mailers to go out to the people. Then I have to wait for the people to fill the mailer out. Then, and how long does that take? Who knows, right? Because I told you I throw trash. I throw everything away that looks like junk mail, right? I have to wait for them to send it back in. It's only going to be 1 to 2% of people. They're going to send it back in. Then once it gets filled it through that office, then that office is going to send it out as a lead to the area or that area manager, that regional manager, whatever it is, however that system is set up. And now you're going out to a lead. Who knows how long it took that lead to get back. And now you got to keep knocking on the door, circling back, knocking on the door, circling back, leaving notices that you came to their house, leaving door hangers. Hey, I came to your house. And if they go, and let's just say they don't use the back door and they use the front door. They don't use the front door, they use the back door. And then they see the notice and they throw the notice in the trash. Now you got to go. It's just a rat race. And not only that, the miles and the wear and tear on your car when you could be at home in your pajamas. I'm fully clothed, but I could be at home in my pajamas doing business, right? Now, have I gone to anyone's home? Yes, but not on a door-to-door sale. So from my stack of leads of my live TV transfers that I've purchased, let's say I call John Doe. John, hey, this is Garlinda. Well, Garlinda, I don't like to do business over the phone. I don't want to give my routing and account number over the phone. Now, I'm going to try to overcome that objective, but if they're genuinely pressed, like, I'm not doing it, and I see that they're within an hour to an hour and a half of me, I'm getting in the car. Listen, John, I'll come to your house, but I'm not just coming to your house, and then you're going to want to think about it. Are you ready to buy insurance? Like when I get there and we go through the presentation, let me go on and tell you all the details now. Is this something that you're still going to be ready to get enrolled in? Because I'm not going to drive an hour and a half just to talk to you. And then you be like, I need to think about it. Nope, I want it. Okay. So then another lady, she was probably 20 minutes from my house, sat down with her. She still had her pajamas on. She was so cute. Still had her pajamas on. Sat there, did a presentation. She got her insurance, and then I left, right? I helped her. I drove, I helped him, got 2 clients under contract. I went on about my day. But those were people that I met on the phone first that were adamant that I need to see a face-to-face person. I'll drive within a 3-hour radius. That's me from an appointment. I'm not going knocking on your door down in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, right? I'm not doing that. And so I just want to encourage you to, as you're looking at how you're going to build your business and you're coming to life insurance and you're like, okay, where should I focus? I personally believe that there are riches and niches. I think you have to pick a couple of products that you love. I only love whole life and I'm only going to sell whole life final expense. We also have a term product here and we have a term return of premium product. You can sell term here at Senior Life. I know people will tell you they only have one product. We don't. We have multiple products. We have multiple whole life products and we have a regular term and we have a term return of premium. We have a 20 pay whole life. We have an ultimate, super preferred, standard, modified, easy, guaranteed term return of premium term, 20 pay whole life. There's 10 products. Right. And you don't need any more than that. You're not writing everybody and their mama. That's the problem. And that was my thought process. And I'm going to end on this as a broker. I felt like I wanted to write everything under the sun. I need access to it all so I can make all my money because that's what all the influencers are saying. That's what everybody. It's not true. You're going to be spread too thin. You're going to be all over the place and your resources are spread all over the place. I'm telling you Garlinda's truth. It may not be your truth. I can only tell you it's been my experience, right? But if I'm trying to write term and I'm a broker and I'm with, let's just say 6 different carriers, I had a book and in the book, I had all of the charts and I would look on the chart to see who covers AIDS, who covers HIV, who covers COPD, who covers emphysema, who'll cover cancer, who'll give somebody insurance that's incarcerated, who's gonna, like, I'm having to look through all these charts. Senior Life is simple. Everybody can get coverage. Every single person, no matter what the condition is, no matter what the medication is, everybody can get coverage. The only difference is going to be, is it day one coverage? Is there a 24-month wait or is there a 36-month wait? That is the only difference. And the cost, right? Everybody is covered ages 0 to 85. Everybody, whether today they have stage 3 cancer, whether today they're on dialysis, whether today they're HIV positive, whether today they just had a stroke, whether today they're incarcerated and or in prison, that is a guaranteed issue product. They can get coverage. Come on. So I don't need to be over here with all these height and weight charts trying to figure out who's going to do what, who's on first, who's on fifth. I don't need to be selling dental and vision, although I was doing that. I don't need to be selling health insurance, although I was doing that. The commission was so low. I was like, what's the point? Yeah, you can do it in volume, but why? Right. And so I had to figure out for Garlinda, and you have to figure out for you, what is your business strategy? What is your business plan? What are you passionate about? How much money do you want to make? What does it look like for you? And then as you write your business plan and you figure out what you have a passion around, Senior Life says this: their goal is to be the #1 final expense company in the country and to own the senior home. That makes it so simple for you, for us as business owners here, because we know our target is ages 0 to 85, but our average client is a senior citizen, someone that's over the age of 50. We're going to own the home. Right? That's the goal. Not only that, you can add your grandchild rider, you can add your children's rider, and our value add proposition. You need to find out from the company that you're with, what's the value added proposition that will stop someone to come from behind you and right over your business. Right? Our business includes everlasting legacy, the funeral, the casket, and the headstone locked in at today's rate up until their age 100 years old. It goes the life of the policy. Their accidental policy goes the life of the policy. It doesn't stop at age 75. But when you know these things, you can sell the value. Right? Because price matters in the absence of value. I've heard that so much that it's ingrained in me, right? Price is important when there's an absence of value. So when you hear people saying that's too much, or I don't want to pay that, it's because they don't yet see the value that you're selling. What is your value add proposition at the company that you're with? But the point is door-to-door selling a dying way of doing business in insurance sales? I personally think it is. Do your research. Right? But if you don't want to be running around to and fro, and you don't want to be missing your children's games, and you don't want to be missing date night with your spouse or having fun with your friends, and you want to work from home and make your money from your hours that you set in place to work your full-time hours, call me 910-494-7798. I want to share with you a book that I'm reading. It's called Your Next 5 Moves, Master the Art of Business Strategy. And it's by Patrick Bet-David with Greg Dinkins. So this is a book that I'm reading right now. I don't know how to reverse my camera, so you'll have to forgive me, but this is what the cover looks like. It's a chessboard right there. I'm gonna put it in the chat. So that way, if the chat still shows up after the video, you'll see it. Your Next 5 Moves. And so this is one book that I'm reading. And then for those of you that are in leadership, there's another book that I'm reading called Pushing Up People. And I forget who that one's by Art Williams, the gentleman that started AI Williams, which is now Primerica. That's a good book, an excellent book, Pushing Up People. So that's a great book if you're in leadership. And this is a great book if you're in sales. Your Next 5 Moves, Master the Art of Business Strategy. So again, I'm Garlinda Price with Senior Life Insurance Company. I'm a national sales director. I'm an agency owner, and we're building our team across the country. If you don't want to be a part of the free lead program, we do have a traditional path where everyone comes in at a higher commission. It does entail you investing in leads at the beginning of every week, 20 to 30 new and fresh leads. But let's talk about it. You can also finance your leads. Come on. We're doing away with all the obstacles and removing all the naysayers, and we're removing all the barriers to entry, which for most people is money. Right? So give me a call, 910-494-7798. If you don't have your license and you're like, Garlinda, I want to get my license. I no longer offer the free licensing class, because the reason why was because that class only gave 14 days to take the class, which I think you should finish it in 14 days anyway, right? But if you can finish it in 14 days, great. But it only gave 14 days. And then if you didn't finish it within the 14-day timeline, it gave 3 extra days, and then you're locked out the class. I didn't like that, right? When I found out that's how it actually worked, I'm like, ooh, I don't like that, right? Because I don't want people to, life happens. And so if you need 30 days to finish it, now you got to pay $45 or $49 to get back into something that was initially free. I think that lacks integrity, right? So I stopped offering that. I do have a link for a class with Licensed Coach. I don't just give that link out, right? So if you're going to be partnering with us, working with our team, and we're going to build a business together, I have no issue at all sharing that link with you, but I'm just not out here as the free link plug, right? It doesn't work like that. So give me a call. I'd love to talk to you. And if you have a team, we really need to talk. I'm telling you, especially if you're building and growing a business already in final expense, you're already in life insurance, and chargebacks have been busting you upside the head and beating you up down one side the other. Senior Life has an incredible program. Sorry, my dog's barking at a bird. They have an incredible program where chargebacks are streamlined, where you don't have to worry about all this roll-up debt taking you out of business and crushing your business. And if you want to build and grow a team, but you're trying to figure out how can I add more people to the team when people can't really afford their leads, right? Come call me and talk to me. We have an excellent program. I'd love to show you the numbers. I'd love to have a strategy session with you and talk to you and your team. Okay. My number is 910-494-7798. Again, I'm Garlinda Price. I'm the agency owner and national sales director of Fusion Insurance Group, powered by Senior Life Insurance Company. Talk to you guys soon, and happy